Insert air drums. Yo, what's up? It's your boy DJ Fodera, and you are now tuned in to the world's most ridiculous, cantankerous, rambunctious, and nostalgic podcast ever. Yes, this MP3 LSD, this audio version of ecstasy, this fuck. Damn, I had something. I really did have something, but it literally just slipped my mind. Like it was part of the whole MP3 LSD thing. Welcome to the Culturally Inappropriate Podcast. I'm your guy DJ Fodera, aka the man in the green mask, aka Don't Touch Me or I'll Sue, aka B minus or something. I don't know. I'm not doing names this week. I should have really. I think I've outgrown the name thing, or I haven't come up with any cooler names, and like mine were like subpar at best, So, welcome back. Don't forget to follow us on SoundCloud, iTunes, Stitcher, and the Google Play Podcast Store, where you can hear me in all those places, and follow me on Instagram and Twitter at DJ Fodera if you want to see more of my hilarity and hijinks. I normally tweet out more than what you see on what you hear, what you get in this pure, crisp audio format podcast. Okay, if you want more, if you want the full, uncut, extended edition, you got to go to my Twitter. I mean, that doesn't make sense considering the fact that, like, tweets are only, like, 140 characters, and you're probably getting more out of me, like, more content-wise out of me on this podcast. So, yeah. Anyway, it's a new week, and, a lot of shit's been going on, a lot of things been going down, a lot of crap's been happening, Some things responded to my ethereal would it be ethereal or ethereal call? Like I put shit out in the ether, and now I'm like waiting for it to come back because like the past couple weeks, whatever I've been saying has been like booming in the media and just like not and just news in general. So it's like I was waiting for my ethereal my ether call to call me back about me blowing up, but unfortunately, it didn't happen. Maybe I did something wrong. Maybe I didn't follow the universe's tips to being the shit to a T. That could be a dope book. Yeah, but I guess we're gonna have to wait until next week. But I'm going to keep putting it out in the ether. I will blow up this week because someone's gonna see this listen to this podcast and be like, yo, this dude is dope. He's gonna put me on a platform, and I'm gonna be on my way to becoming the next Oprah or something even bigger than that, because that's the goal with everything. I think, probably, hopefully. Anyway, let's get started. Because we are OVO affiliated and we have bad transitions, we are obliged to talk about Drake every single episode because, why not? I'm a fan, and I guess, part of whatever you would call his fans, the eyebrows, the OV ocean made up of all of his tears. I don't know, you guys pick. If you're tolerating this shit, you're probably a Drake fan as well. But, shout out to him for getting his first #1 single in One Dance. I need a one dance, got a Hennessy, and yeah, that joint. It's a pretty dope song, and he deserves it. He got it from mixing it with the album and his whole buzz right now. Shout out to him for doing that. Video footage came out of him in the studio with like French Montana, and he's like they're previewing a song. And I'm wondering, like, why is he in the studio with French? Like, I don't want to hear Drake on a French Montana song. Like, I hope they're just like doing one song and not like doing a whole collaborative mixtape. Because ever since Drake started, brought back the trend of like collaborative efforts, French has been doing like a whole bunch of collab shit, from doing something with Fetty Wap to some other person, and then he dropped something with someone else. French has the whole Coke Boys thing, and he's always doing group shit with them. I just don't need to hear Drake rapping on French Montana. So that's just a lane that you don't have to go. I mean, people said that Views was too soft, and maybe going the route of rapping with French Montana is a little not hard, but like that's like going the direct opposite that Views was, and I don't think you want to do that because you and him have never made like a song together. Now people might say pop that, but that was more of a Rick Ross song with like French on the hook. That was dope. Drake and Rick Ross make amazing songs together. Like they haven't really missed. So no, it was one song that I wasn't feeling. I would have to go back and listen to it. But yeah, Drake do get out the studio. If you want to get back in the studio, make like rap songs. I'm fine with that. I don't want to hear you rapping with French Montana allegedly dissing Joe Budden and all because he gave a very emotional and very heated opinion about your album. A lot of people felt that way. He just expressed it in like the most extreme way possible. No need to diss him. No need to get on a track with French Montana because no one needs to hear that. I don't want to hear you rap something about how you got niggas who got guns, and then French Montana comes in and says, "Huh?" We don't need that. No one needs that. That's a terrible thing. And I would hope that you would be wise enough to know that this is a mistake. I see like his run coming to an end with it. Like if he drops like a joint tape with French, I see his run coming to an end. Like he's gonna come out with cringy bars, like how Lil Wayne was. He's gonna come out with a bunch of cringy bars and start dropping whack shit. And I don't need that. I just bow out gracefully. You had your time at the top. It's probably gonna seem like you're at the top for much longer than you actually are because a lot of people out right now ain't really taking that top spot. It's a lot of dudes that like and can we talk about that, the new trend of like rappers not really being rappers but still calling themselves that? Can you guys stop? That's not cool. If you guys want to be rock stars, if you guys want to make like hip hop rock music, that's fine, call it that. You might not know like what it's called. I mean, it could still be hip hop because it has like the vibe, but it's also rock. So it's like you could make like a new thing. I'm tired of people saying like, "Oh, I'm a rapper, but I'm not rapping bars. I'm just like going melody and like flow and all that." That's cool and all. Shout out to Future, the designer, Lil Uzi, Lil Yachty. What's one of them other like singy rapper type? Yeah, but you guys need to stop calling yourselves rappers because you're not. And people are like, "Oh, there's a difference between a rapper and MC." No, there's not. A rapper is a dude who gives bars. That's what a rapper is. These new niggas, they're not rappers. I had no disrespect towards Ray Shrimmer, but I've always called them hip hop rock stars. I've never really considered them rappers. Other people rhyme in their music. Adele rhymes all the time. I'm sure Taylor Swift rhymes in her songs. You don't have to rhyme to be a rapper, just because if you want to put like a poem to a nice beat and sing it like a rock star, go ahead and do that. There's nothing wrong with that. Just please don't call yourself a rapper because you're not. Okay. And can we also stop the trend of like all of you like rock star type rappers sampling a 90s or 80s R&B song and trying to be as lyrical as possible, like just saying every single word that you know out of the dictionary? It's that trend is dead now. And if it's not, can we dead it? You guys are like taking this shit too far. I know you want to pretend to be like deep into music and lyrical as hell, but you're not, and like you're just ruining old songs. It's disrespect. Okay, it's complete and utter disrespect. Yeah, you might get the clearance to be able to sample that music, but it's downright disrespect if you're not on a quality level and you're just gonna bring your sing-songy rap bullshit on there as well. So I think like a lot of things need to be put to rest. Speaking of people in studios working on new music, Frank Ocean continues to be in the news about allegedly having an album made and like it being on the way, where we've been waiting for this shit for a couple years now, no pressure, Frank. But it bothers me. I don't have a problem with you like not releasing it or anything, but I do have a problem with you like trolling people about like when is it gonna come out? Is it gonna drop now? Your family members doing that bullshit. You supposed to be performing somewhere and then you cancel all of a sudden. all of a sudden, and you're just nowhere to be found. And now you got your manager or whoever the fuck he is consistently talking about, oh, Frank's album is done. He just is waiting to drop it. Why the fuck would you tell us that? Like, we know his album's done. Like, Beyonce Ben dropped his shit. That means he's done working on hers, and he probably finished his. He wouldn't allow her to release an album without, finishing up his. And people and he's just out there talking like, yeah, Frank Ocean's done his album, and it really annoys me, We got Drake trying to fill the void that Frank left, by recruiting a bunch of people mysteriously and then dropping their songs like Division, and some new guy he got called Where Have I Gone, or What Am I, or some other dumb shit like Drake people do. And I'm tired of hearing this shit. You know why? Because it makes me angry. I don't want to hear rumors about Frank Ocean in the studio. I want to see Frank Ocean in the studio. I want to hear music from Frank Ocean being in the studio, okay? Don't tell me about, oh, he has this, he has that. I don't give a fuck what he has, okay? I want him to drop something new. He's supposed to have dropped an album a while ago. He put, a teaser on his Tumblr, and now he's just, fucking us over. And it's bothering me a lot, okay? If you didn't want to make music again, that's fine. But don't have your peoples out here saying you're working on new music, you're doing new music, hey, Frank is doing new music. If your intention is not to drop music, that's 100% completely fine. But don't fuck with me as a fan and a consumer by saying, yo, I got new music coming out, or promising something and then not delivering. You know why? Because that's bullshit, okay, man? That is completely and 100% not fair. As a fan and as a human being, that's just being a dick. You're just being a dick. Bottom line, point blank period, you're just being a dick. And that's not cool, man, okay? Someone is going to fade you for doing this dumb shit, okay? We are not going to put up with it, and we're going to boycott your next album. We're going to make you do 0 albums the first week, and then the second week, we're going to buy that shit or just finesse the shit out of it offline. We're going to trash your first week sales because we all know that's what matters. Shout out to Drizzy for the 1 point whatever mil. And we'll see what happens. We'll see what happens with this development. I don't know what he's gonna do. I just know that he better chill before he catches a severe fate. Okay. Anyway, speaking of artists taking advantage of their fans, Miss Lauryn Hill recently decided to arrive late to a show, a little over 2 hours late to one of her shows, and she gave the most trash, bougie, just all around entitled ass the audacity of her to say the things that she said and why she was like, yo, I wasn't feeling right, and I gotta feel right in order to deliver a quality performance, so y'all shouldn't be mad at me, y'all should be mad at yourselves for rushing me. You can't rush perfection. And she didn't say exactly that. You know what, fuck it, that's basically what she said. That's a sum up. Whatever I say on this show, it may not necessarily be 100% true, but from my viewpoint it is, okay? From my viewpoint it is, and that's what matters. That's what you're here to hear. You're here to hear my viewpoint on things, how I see the world. Reality is based off of perception, and my perception is that she said that. Maybe she typed out a whole paragraph of explaining how her chakras weren't aligned and shit, and how next time, expect less of her. I don't know. But yeah, she showed up late, and people were upset. They started booing her and shit. You know what? This is exactly what she deserves. For too long, she's been glorified off of one album that she did. She's just a really good one. She's a very legendary one-hit wonder. She's one of the legends in the one-hit wonder category. People are gonna say, "Oh no, she did shit with the Fugees." Well, yeah, she did shit with the Fugees. So that's that. That's not really her work. And then she dropped the second album. That shit did not have as much buzz or steam as the first one, and then she didn't drop shit for 20 years. She hasn't done any music in 20 years, and it's about time somebody took her down a pedestal. People are like, oh, she's one of the greatest rappers of all time, not even just female rappers. No, she's not. She dropped a good album. That's like saying Jay Electronica is one of the best rappers out there. He has one song. He has literally one song, but he still does shows. What the fuck is he doing shows for? I don't know. You want to hear him perform Exhibit C 30 times? Maybe I could. Exhibit C rocks, and if he played it if he played that joint like 30 times, I'm not necessarily saying I would have a problem with it. I'd be like, yo, I could have did this in my bathroom mirror, but I listen to that shit on repeat all the time. But that's not the point. The point is, we need people to stop taking advantage of their fans. And that's what she did. She took advantage of her fans, and she has been for years. Because why are you going to a Lauryn Hill show when she hasn't done new music in years, my G? Like, you shouldn't be showing up to one of her shows if she hasn't dropped new music in years. She's just been riding the wave of the miseducation of Lauryn Hill for so long. And people, you need to start wisening up. The jig is up. The jig is sky high right now on a rocket on its way to Mars. And you people are finally seeing the light that she has been playing the shit out of all of you for this many years, By saying like, yo, just look at my first album, that's dope. Like, yeah, it's dope and all, but when you gonna drop another one, When are you gonna come out with another body of work that's good, And she's like, oh yeah, I did, the Unplugged joint, that joint was kind of trash, People did not fuck with that. And, you need to get it together, Lauryn Hill. This is DJ Fodera speaking directly to you. You need to chill, my G. Stop showing up late to your show. Stop abusing your fans, and don't feel big. Like, stop being so big-headed. You're just a really legendary one-hit wonder. That's it. Like, you're up there with the likes of Vanilla Ice and who else? Probably Fetty Wap if he doesn't have another hit this summer. Who else dropped a good album and disappeared? Frank Ocean, That's what he's on his way to becoming. The next Lauryn Hill. Like, not dropping shit else after that one album, And it's cool and all. We're just going to not put you in the great category anymore. We're going to put you in the one-hit wonder. Okay? That's where you're going to be, and that's where you're going to stay because you keep fucking with us. Okay? So, I haven't done this segment in a while, but I thought, like, because of what happened this week, I should bring the segment back. It's called The Woman Crush of the Week. Now, the Woman Crush of this week is a woman who has been silenced and, who needs to be freed. No, it isn't about Brianne. Her name is so fucking complicated and hard to say. Brianne Altis, okay? Free her. But it's about a young lady who's just trying to educate the world. Miss Azealia Banks. Azealia Banks is a revolutionary. And she has very, very long nipples. Shout out to her boob job. Azealia Banks says very problematic things on Twitter. Things that a lot of people don't agree with. Like, she's voting for Donald Trump because, unlike Hillary Clinton, he's not pandering to black people. She says things like a 14-year-old with no hips should not have any observations or things to say to her. She says very outlandish things. Like calling people fags and all of that and saying, oh, it's okay. It's not okay for me to say fag, but it's okay for black people to say nigga. I don't know how that, I don't know where the correlation is, but okay. And she just finds a way to rearrange those arguments, to rearrange her words, to rearrange the perception. What the fuck is wrong with me this episode, man? I can't I can't get shit right. She finds a way to like twist everything to being like on her side. Someone said, Azealia Banks, I don't think it's really smart for you to want to vote for Donald Trump considering his standpoint and everything. And she said, I find it insulting how you insult a black woman, this is very misogynistic and racist of you. And in trying to cover his ass, she still got him to look like a total dick. Like she was able to pull from deep in the trenches of the crack of her ass a way for her to look like a good guy in a scenario. And I just have to give a round of applause to that woman. She knows how to turn a bad situation good. She is doing what women have been doing for years, but on a grander scale and in order to profit her, She says things such as, Beyonce is only pandering to black people because she's running out of ideas, with that new Lemonade album. Hey, I'm not necessarily disagreeing with her. I'm just saying, maybe, Beyonce's pandering to black people and black women and, these popular things in the media today because she's a black woman. But Azealia Banks would argue, no, she's not. She is a I don't know. I'm leaving that pause in there. I want you guys to know, like, I didn't know what the fuck to say. I am not taking that pause out of there. That was a really long and awkward pause. Okay. But yeah. Anyway, shout out to Azealia Banks. She got banned from Twitter for going on a rant against the UK, where most of her fan base is. So shout out to you for just earning a lifetime L achievement for Twitter. They say Meek Mill has Twitter fingers, but my God, his did not get him kicked off of Twitter. Yes, it may have got him ridiculed on a worldwide scale, but you got banned from a country and suspended off Twitter, and you're a black woman. Normally it's like racist white girls or racist white people that say some shit on Twitter and get kicked off, but you just us. Shout out to you, and God bless those beautiful chocolate star balls that you call breasts in your long ass nipples. Salute to you. Speaking of racist people, just making sure my mic is clear. Can you hear me? Can you hear me? I don't know what the fuck is up with me this episode. But yeah, George Zimmerman is out here just oh my God, epitomizing scumbag and upholding his scumbag lifestyle and tradition. He's now selling the gun that he used to stop the monster, his words, that is Trayvon Martin. It's just amazing that this guy is out here in 2016 flourishing and just spitting in the face of everyone with his disgusting win. R. Kelly, when he went on trial and he got off trial for pissing on that little girl, he didn't go out and start fucking other little girls yet. He came out with Stop in the Name of Love or whatever the fuck he came out with. Fuck that man. He had at least tried to like gain our hearts back. George Zimmerman is just going full on, I don't give a fuck anymore. Try me if you want. I will still come out victorious. And it's bothering me, it's just bothering me. Like, he's out here allowed to cook so much, and no one is putting a stop to him. All you niggas talking about, yo, I will shoot you if you look at me the wrong way, and no one has come across this fat Mexican motherfucker and put one between his eyes. You guys can come out with songs dissing Donald Trump, talking about, oh, fuck this, fuck that, I bring the war, I got the guns, I got all this shit. Why don't somebody go put some steel to his dome? Put some chrome to his brain insides. Let him know that what he did was wrong and karma is real. Okay, let that nigga know karma is real. Someone jumped the stage at a Trump rally with a whole bunch of racist people. All right, well, if you can do that, jump the fucking gates into George Zimmerman's house that he probably has up for fear of his life and beat the shit out of that nigga. Let him know he is not going to get away. If you're like, oh, I don't want to go to jail for killing this nigga, I got a life and shit. No, you're not going to go to jail. Just get a right lawyer and be like, yo, this nigga was a monster. He killed a child in cold blood, and he's out here trying to flourish off of it. I did the world a favor, because he would have done something even more fucked up had I not put an end to his reign of terror. After he gets off the hook for killing a kid, he beats his girlfriend, he gets arrested like 5 times, and we say this nigga was the good guy. Dog, listen, I'm not one to like make threats against people or like threats against lives. Please, NSA, do not shut me down, or whoever the freak is, the people like in charge of tracking online people, whoever you are. I say that to say this: someone needs to put a stop to George Zimmerman, because he's out here just wilding. Okay, from starting a GoFundMe so he doesn't have to work anymore because he's in fear of his life, to selling the gun that he used to kill Trayvon Martin as like a trophy. I don't know, man. I don't know what world we're come to. Like, niggas is really, this shit is just backwards. Like, somebody just got shot for allegedly stealing a Snickers bar out of a dollar store. Like, I cannot make this up. Someone really almost just got shot and is in the hospital for allegedly stealing a Snickers bar, because they never found it, the Snickers bar that he was alleged to have stolen. We talked about this shit last week. People taking their jobs too seriously and like wilding out. Dog, it is not that deep. Someone is taking like. We need people to be prepared for these jobs. We need people to be mentally prepared. And yes, they may, go to school for this shit, and they may get like a piece of paper that says, yo, they can do this. But, people lie, papers lie, but facts don't. And people who are qualified for jobs shouldn't go around shooting people for allegedly stealing Snicker bars. Like, okay, you have to stop a thief, but there are levels to this shit. Like, maybe if he was trying to lift a television and a PS4 plus a couple iPads and iPhones, then maybe you put a bullet in his knee. But if he's just taking a Snickers candy bar because he was hungry, I don't think you should shoot him. You know what the fucking Snickers commercials say? You're not yourself when you're hungry. Get a Snickers. Maybe he wasn't feeling like himself. Maybe normally he's a law-abiding citizen. But that's what that movie was called. Oh my God. That's what that movie was called. I was thinking about this like all week, law-abiding citizen, because it had something to do with like, it's not what you know, it's what you can prove. The joint with Jamie Foxx and that other guy. But back to what I was talking about. Maybe he was a law-abiding citizen, but when he gets hungry, he turns into a kleptomaniac, And maybe he was trying to, in order to stop him from making an even worse decision, he decided to get a Snickers and eat it so he could return to his normal, peaceful self, But then this cop, this gung-ho fucking shoot-away Sam, goes ahead and puts a cap in his ass, And I don't get it. Like, you're a security guard, dude. Before you reach for the gun, like, unless it's like a situation that requires you pull out your gun, which that really wasn't, you should probably like try. You're allowed to beat the shit out of him. Like, I think that they're allowed to like hurt the customers that are threats. So you're allowed to like tackle them, tase them, whatever the fuck, or you just stop and be like, yo, can I check your pockets? What's wrong with that? If he's not running away, if he's not doing anything like that will cause immediate hurt to anyone else, why the fuck would you shoot him? Like, I hope that guy sues that store and that specific security officer for all of their money, because let me get shot for allegedly taking a Snickers bar. Let me get my shit bust open because you think I stole a goddamn tomato. I will come back with No, I'm not about to make that joke. This is the Culturally Inappropriate Podcast, but that is not a joke I'm about to make. I will come back with the greatest lawyer of all time, and I promise you this: my great-grandchildren will be living off of the money that I get from the lawsuit. Play with me, my nigga, okay? Let one of y'all dumbasses play with me the wrong way, and I swear to God, just give me a second, and I swear on everything, and I will sue the fuck out of all of you. Like, you will have erectile dysfunction. That's how bad I will sue the shit out of you. Okay? I will do that. Don't play with me. I am so serious. Okay? Because I'm terrible at transitions. Speaking of things that I talked about last week, so last week I talked about like oversharing on social media and how you shouldn't post shit on there, and lo and behold, some girl commits suicide on Periscope, for people to see, and that's terrible, Suicide is a bad thing, if you struggle with depression and all that, you should probably get help. I find that getting into a quiet closet and talking, not per se to myself, but just like talking out loud helps me, I mean, maybe I do it in the form of a podcast. Maybe I do it like when I'm by myself and this microphone isn't running. But, it's a serious thing, and a lot of people don't talk about it, and that's the only deep moment that you get from this podcast today. Now, what really upset me about her posting this on social media, I don't know what she thought she was going to garner from this. They said it was a note that she had put, like, she didn't want to get attention. Like, she didn't want to glorify the negativities and shit. But that's all you're doing if you're posting it on social media. You're glorifying the negativities. Because let me tell you something. People, like, mad that there were people on Periscope telling her to kill herself and all that other shit. Don't go online expecting people to be rational and reasonable, because that is exactly what the internet is not. The internet is full of people trying to escape the terrors of their real life and like make someone else feel worse so that they can feel better, so they will show. If you say like, yo, I'm gonna kill myself, and you post that shit online, someone may comment like, make sure you take a picture, or maybe they'll be like, after you shoot yourself in the brain, blink. I want to test out a theory. I don't know. I'm not one of those guys that post comments like those, because I know they can be tracked and you could probably get charged with harassment or some shit, and I don't have the time for that. Plus, I have a heart. Allegedly. I can't find it right now, but I allegedly have a heart. So, yeah, but people stop posting shit on social media, like your parents. Please. I mean, maybe you can put your dad on there, because I guess he has like thicker skin, but don't put your mom on there, okay? Don't put your mom on social media, people, because if she's fine, there's gonna be some guy looking at her and he's gonna be like, wow, your mom is bad. Do she got an Instagram? Do she got a Twitter? Let me see if her DMs is open. Let me scroll through her pictures and see how well she's doing in her divorce. If she has one or too many pictures up about her being like flustered and all this shit, maybe your nigga ain't doing it right, and it's time for me to slide in your DMs. Here comes Dirty Dara. And then if she like looks bad, someone's gonna comment on your photo. Damn, get your fat ass mom off the Instagram, And no one needs that, No one wants that. So just stop sharing that shit on social media. That's not the place, and it's not where you should be. Okay, it's a very dangerous place, and you have to understand, if you put shit out there, people are gonna judge it, and they're gonna be like, yo, they may say some positive things, but 8 times out of 10. The feedback that you're gonna get is gonna be kind of negative, So just expect that, especially if you're like really sad and shit. Like you post some shit that's really sad, people are going to try their best to shit on you. Like there was this girl on Twitter. I don't know if she's from Philly or not, but if she is, hey, salute to you. You're famous now. She is like kind of overweight she looks to me to be on the overweight side of the spectrum, and she went to prom and she posted a lot of pictures, and a lot of people were saying, ew, look at this bitch, how the fuck could you do this? Why did her friends let her come outside looking at like this? These are me saying these things. I say some very bad things, but this right here, that's not me talking. That's me saying the comments that people posted. And, she felt real depressed after posting them. And, now, this is going to be a real hot take, but if your friend looks terrible, it's cool to big them up if you want, but try to refrain from them sharing shit. Like, let them know, people, I see the good person that is underneath that ugly hide you call a flesh and body, but I don't think people on social media are, and they're going to bully the shit out of you, and I would prefer that you not post it. But if you post it, you know what you're getting into, because you're putting it out there for everyone to see, and these people, they're not going to react the way you want, so don't expect people to, don't expect people to just, be your friend online, okay? Expect the worst, okay? Like, people will look through a photo and see that you have a canker sore in the inside of your mouth while your mouth is closed. That I don't know how they would know that, but they will, and they will point that out. And then from now on, whenever you post on your Instagram or Twitter, they'll be like, "Yo, what's up? You the nigga with the canker sore or whatever?" And we need to stop. Okay, don't expect like good things to happen coming from social media. Like, a lot of good things can happen, but a lot of good things don't always happen. So we need to chill out with that. Okay, and to everybody telling like people who are not necessarily ugly. All right, let me be as blunt as possible. Stop telling ugly people that they're beautiful, and stop like forcing their ugliness onto us. Like saying, yo, how could you call this person ugly? That person is beautiful. This person is a burn victim. I do not find them attractive at all. Okay? Do not force your idea. Like it would don't say that they're attractive if you wouldn't want to look like them. Like if you wouldn't go get surgery in order to look like that person, I don't think you should be pushing the agenda that this person is beautiful. Like yes, they're allowed to feel however they want to feel about themselves, and people people should bully them. You know why? Because it lets them know the real, and it lets them know that it lets you be honest about yourself and not live in a deluded, disrupted perception of reality. Reality is perception, and if people keep calling you beautiful and shit, and then you post your shit online and you get clowned, you're like, how could these people feel that way? They're assholes. Nah, they're just people honestly trying to get a joke off. I might say, wow, look at this creature. Why the fuck would you? Who put this creature in a suit and told it to go? I'm not making any joke. Let me stop talking about this because I'm encroaching on the line of like very problematic, and I don't want anybody to pick this up and be like, listen to him slandering this innocent little girl, this misogynistic bastard. I don't need that. Okay. Yeah. To go with the whole terrible transition thing, Captain America came out Friday, and that shit was amazing. I love that movie, and I love how Marvel continues to dominate in the media realm. Like they really can't miss with the movies that they're coming out with. Like even their Netflix shows like Daredevil and Jessica Jones have just been amazing so far, and it's like terrible to see like they can't it's just like amazing to see this coming from like them having like a terrible track record back then. Like all they released was trash back in the day. Like all the old Captain America movies were horrible, the Thor ones, that Hulk TV show, even though people thought it was nice, that shit was awful. But now they're like succeeding so well, and it's amazing to watch, and I'm happy to be a part of it. DC, on the other hand, is doing a shitty job. They just keep releasing things that aren't well received and very criticized. And they were doing fine with their TV shows, but their Flash TV series, these past couple episodes in season 2 have been kind of trash. I may send like an angrily written email or letter to the executive studio, the executive producers, whatever, over at the Flash's media, because you guys have been turning it into shit and just like bullshit relationship drama. I'm tired of the will they won't they and like the whole emotional relationship thing. I know since it's on CW it's like legally obliged to have that, but I don't want to see that in my Flash TV series. It's a superhero show, not a fucking drama that you guys got. So kind of pick it up for the season finale, or I'm going to stop looking at it, and I'm going to do everything in my power to get it canceled. So don't play with me, because I am not in the mood. This is not a good day. Okay, and that's my last opinion. That was the Culturally Inappropriate Podcast. I'm your guy, DJ Fodera. Don't forget to follow me on Instagram and Twitter at DJ Fodera, and also don't forget to view the sound awareness thingy, this podcast. That's what it's just today. It's just been. Don't forget to listen to this podcast in every which way that you can by checking it out on iTunes, SoundCloud, Stitcher, and Google Play for all you dumbass Android users, for whatever you need. Windows Phone users, I don't know what you're going to use. Maybe SoundCloud if they have an app, but I'm sure it's shit like the rest of the apps that they have. Hopefully it has a repeat button, because God knows they need one. I'm your guy, DJ Fodera. Thank you for tuning in to another week of this terrible, terrible podcast. And if you have no taste. Thank you and goodbye.